Hi, today we're going to be exploring into CPF housing grants, and one of the most commonly asked questions, do I have to pay CPF grant back to the government? Okay, so first we'll talk about CPF housing grant. This is just a quick guide. You have CPF housing grants for resale, BTO as well as EC. For resale, you have family grant, which is up to 50,000. You also have proximity housing grant, which is up to 30,000. And finally, you have enhanced housing grant, which is up to 80,000 depending on your income level. For BTOs, you also have enhanced housing grant, which is up to $80,000. And finally, for ECs, you have family grant, which is up to $30,000. Whether you're eligible for these grants, a simple way to check is just to go into HDB intent to buy. You just fill in all the information. HDB will do a preliminary assessment on whether you are eligible on any HDB grants, and they will show you the results on the final page. This is especially useful if you cannot remember whether your first flat was bought directly from HDB or not, because it was maybe like 10-20 years ago. Just by doing this check, HDB will show you whether you are eligible, and this is still subjected to the final approval, but it's a quick way to check. So what happens when you decide to sell your resale flat after taking this CPF housing grant? Do you have to pay this money back to the government? The answer is no. The CPF housing grant is credited into your CPF OA account to be used for the purchase of your resale flat. So at the end of the day, when you decide to sell your flat, what you have to do is to refund the CPF that was withdrawn from your account plus the accrued interest. It doesn't have to be paid back to the government. The money is actually yours, and this CPF amount still can be used to fund your next purchase. Probably this misconception comes up from the resale levy. This resale levy is as long as you have bought anything directly from the government or taken any housing grants from the government, meaning to say you have enjoyed some subsidized rates in purchasing your flat. If you want to go for a second subsidized flat like BTO or sale of balance or an EC, you will have to pay this resale levy. This resale levy is a staggered payment according to how much subsidy you have received before. For example, if you have purchased a 4-room BTO, your resale levy will be $40,000. Similarly, if you have purchased a resale unit and taken CPF housing grant for a 4-room flat, you will also have to pay a resale levy of $40,000. This is only if you want to purchase another subsidized flat from HDB like BTO, sale of balance, or even an EC. This is because you are going to be taking your second subsidized rates from HDB. That's why they want you to pay this resale levy. However, let's say you sell your first subsidized flat, whether is it a BTO or whether you have taken CPF housing grant for your first subsidized flat, you sell it and you decide to buy another resale flat. This resale flat, you don't buy it from HDB, you don't buy it with any housing grant, you don't pay any resale levy. Similarly, if you sell your flat and you purchase a condo, you don't have to pay any resale levy. The only situation when you have to pay resale levy is after selling your first subsidized flat. You go for a BTO, a sale of balance, or even an EC. Then you have to pay the resale levy. Some people are asking whether they should take up this CPF housing grant. I would say it depends on your situation. What are you currently looking for? Whether you know what is your next step, what is your next plan. If you think that you will most likely go for a BTO after purchasing a resale, and you do want to have more balloting chance as a first timer, then you possibly can forgo this grant in order to have first timer status when you ballot for your next BTO flat. However, if you are certain that you will not go for BTO anymore, you are certain that you will not go for an EC, then there wouldn't be much reason for you to not take up the CPF housing grant, as it helps you subsidize your current purchase. However, if you do decide that you want to go for BTO or EC next, the drawback will be that you will have a second timer status as well as you have to pay the resale levy. Hopefully, I have cleared up some misconceptions regarding this issue, and if you have any other issues or questions you want to ask, please write them down in the comment box below and I'll try my best to answer them.